Hey again. It's nice to see you again in this. Why are we in a doctor's office? I'm gonna move the place. Okay, better. We are now in this. Now we are in a diner. I'll play for it real quick. Thank you. Take a seat. Take a seat. All right. So now let's continue the story of what if Deku had cyborg abilities. Well, cyborg, basically Genji, basically. But no, not really. It's Deku. So now Deku, after awaking with his new metal body, because he looked at himself and he saw he had a more sleek and green design. Yeah, he just think Genji. That's what he looks like. That's what Deku looks like right now. He's just Genji, but with a bit more technology on him, like a blaster cannon on his back that can come out of his shoulder and then it shoots people. It's like War Machine. I hope you guys know what War Machine is. It's Iron Man sidekick. All right, let's just get back to the story again. So Deku was looking at the girl with this girl with weird colored eyes and the same kind of pink hair as the girl that told him that that she is the owner of the company that he's in right now. And the girl starts saying, "I patched you up from the USJ, from the USJ," because then she says, "Because my mother asked me to." And Deku then computes what is happening and then says, so you're the daughter of the girl that saved my life. My condolences to her if I've caused any problems in her company." And then, she says, not at all. I did most of the work." "Oh, really? Good. Well, good work. I feel very comfortable in this way more than the other one. I felt like I was trapped in that. This one, I feel more smooth." Well, I did use, well, then, you, you, is it name like, Husu? Has, has, the pink-haired girl with the very far eyesight. I don't remember her name. I will remember it soon. Then Deku is th thinks and hopes this didn't take anything out of her paycheck or like whatever gave her money. And she says, "Nope, not at all. I just wanted to work on a new baby." And Deku's like, "What? What did you just say?" And then she explains that she calls her robots babies because she technically made them. Deku says, "That's logical, honestly. But, thanks." Deku gives her a hug, then a handshake, and then he leaves. Then he sits back on the curb, and then just waits a whole new week. Until, I think it was, y Yakosi? Yeah, Yarosi? No, it's not her. I feel like, I can't remember the pink girl's name. It's like, something on the tip of my tongue, but I don't know. It's like, Asumi? Hasumi? Yasumi? Asumi? I can't remember her name. But she then walks up to him and tells him that, "Do you want to live in my apartment?" And then he wakes up from his nap. Mm-hmm. You were just sitting on the curb, and do you think that's fine? Well, I don't have a house, so, I, well, I did just offer you a place in my apartment, but I guess you didn't hear me. Oh, uh, okay. And then he walks with the Hakaguri. I can remember it. Let's go. Hakaguri, the pink-haired bitch. Hakaguri then walks to her house? Yeah, they walk to her apartment, and then Deku just sleeps in the spare room. It's just a mattress and a lamp. He freaking loves being able to sit on something comfy now. Especially since he's able to feel some of the squishiness on his not metal body part. It takes off the parts that cover his actual flesh. And he sleeps. And then he puts them back on after 3 weeks of sleeping. And then he gets some battle things. Well, sometimes Hagakure wakes him up to give him some previews of her babies. And then, of course, Deku says some of those could work on, could you attach some of those to my? Because when he's impressed by one weapon, not just a shield, sometimes he asks for the shield to be attached. But it's usually he has to detach some of them because he can't keep freaking attaching everything. And now Deku gets even more toys or babies on him. And then he just goes back to UA after the 3-week break. Was it a 1 week or a 3 break? 3 week. I'm gonna say 1 week. I think that was it. Then Deku is getting ready for the sports festival, but of course Deku doesn't really know what a sports festival is since he's been asleep for a while. And he wasn't really informed of it because he passed the fuck out before he was informed. And then he just goes into the sports festival. Then sees Okakure sitting there with her babies on her. Some of them Deku saw in the previews. And then Deku started to walk towards her because they're homies. Come on. You don't just offer a person their home and then you don't expect them to keep talking to you. So now Okakure and Deku have a relationship as friends. That's not gonna go anywhere. Wink wink. Yeah, but Deku is just talking to her in a very calm tone because they're homies. No, very calm tone of uh oh this why she's here because she only uses the area for making babies, but she says that she had do you see those people up there? And then there's like the businessman, and he says like, no. 1 second. And she plugs a chip into his brain, and then he gets his eyes turn into a yellow color, and then he gets a new power. He got supervision, like a Gakure. Don't ask why she has that on hand. She just does. And then he sees the businessman. Oh no. I hope none of that noise in the background is getting into the video. If it does, I'm so sorry. I have like a really bad setup to record. My headset has to be directly connected to my PS5 or it's just not going to be able to record. And the microphone I use in my past videos is really trashy, and I think this one's better. But anyways, sorry. I really am sorry. I don't like ruining the video experience for you. But after that, after my but ignore that. Anyways, but Deku after what's he doing? Oh yeah, he just sees them, takes out the chip, but then the chip, and then she says, "Well, now you have my vision," and when you turn that mode on, and Deku says, "Thanks, but why?" Oh, sorry, sidetracked. And then Deku talks to her. Well, Hagakure explains that these people uh, give could invest in some of the babies I make so I can get more money for more for more babies. And then Deku's like, okay, that's probably the smart decision, honestly. But well, I'll meet you later. And then Hagakure and him split into different areas. Deku goes to the front of the walk line, and then Hagakure is just in the middle, where she was beginning. And then Deku just gets freaking... And then Deku just... Then people hear jets riling. And then they look at Deku with his body fully glowing in the dark. And then right when the thing opens, Deku's gone. They freaking get... Some people just get blown back. The people behind Deku and next to Deku, they just get blown back. And inserting that just knocks down everyone. And Hagakure just climbs everyone. And then Deku just speeds straight through it. Until the jets start burning off. And then Deku just closes them and then just freaking eats it. And then just gets back into a sprinting motion. And then when he comes up to the rope, he legit just swing, side to side on the rope. And then he does the smart decision, in case anyone tries to get across, he cuts the rope, so people can only go on the rock area. So 1, 2, 3 steps. Sorry, I'm like really trying to explain the story in great detail. It takes a while for me to breathe, you know. And then Deku is running and running and running until then he runs up, and then until Todoroki and Bakugo show up. Bakugo extra frustrated because, you know, Deku is not beating him in something again. But Shoto's just mad because he's not winning. He has no beef with Suzuku. He just doesn't like losing. Reminds me of me in some ways. I don't like losing. A lot of people don't like losing, but it's a part of life, so it sucks for me. Then Deku, what does Deku do? Oh, sorry, me too. Oh, my feet is numb. Oh my god, imagine getting your foot numb during recording. Fine. But then Deku is, you know, side by side by everyone, and then the mines come up. And then Deku's jet says, fully recharged. And then Deku powers them back up and just zooms through everything. Until it starts cutting off during the, you know, the bombs. Without him clearing it. So he does the smart thing, takes a bomb out of the ground. He takes a part of a shrapnel that came from a zero-pointer, I had to say. Then he puts it in front of him, and then he just falls right in front of it. Then freaking explodes forward. And then just makes it. Good job, Deku. So he's using your brain. Sorry, I've like dead skin. Now Deku is got first place. Good job, Deku. Clap, 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 clap for him, please. Second. See, I clapped. I did not just slap my cheek. And then Deku... Oh, sorry, that's a bit far away there. But then Deku walks into his hallway? No, then he gets his 10 million points. And then Hagakure immediately just walks up to him and tells him, you want to work together? And Deku turns to her like, yeah, okay. And then Aravaka joins him because she tells him that she wants to return the favor for helping her realize that she needs to get more martial arts into her training. She's been learning on some taekwondo, and who else joins this team? I would say Tokoyami. Yeah, same team as the original. Obviously Tokoyami joined him because Dark Shadow said he wants to join the ninja, and then Tokoyami just decided to follow his lead. And then the squads returned. Deku, Hagakure, Orochako, and Tokoyami. And then then the stack begins. Deku's on top, of course, and everyone's on the bottom. Deku is, well, I'll just quickly go through this. Hagakure just keeps blocking everyone from getting it, and Deku just keeps, he turned off his blade, the laser part, and then just starts slashing everyone's attacks away. Don't worry, his blade is really incredibly dull. So it's basically just a metal pipe, and then he just keeps kicking everyone's away. Ochako keeps redirecting people's attacks back towards them, knocking them down, but not out. And then Dark Shadow just keeps bitch slapping everyone. until Bakugo shows up, and Bakugo blows away the dark shadow because dark versus explosions does not mix well. And Deku is about to get his headband taken away until a freaking tongue snatches it instead of Bakugo. Then Deku looks towards the three guys, Mineta, Suyu, and the Ojiro. Not Ojiro. It's Sero. It's not. No, it's not. It's. Oh my god! I actually forgot his name. I deserve the death penalty. Okay, but like the guy that just got an arc on himself. You know about mutants? The mutant guy. The guy with the. You know what I mean. And then Deku immediately just pops Bakugo straight in the eye. Don't worry, it's just with his fingers. Doesn't blind him at all because anime logic. And then they just sprint towards him, and then Deku riles up his jets, throws himself off everyone. Luckily, they both agreed with the plan. Ravaka and Dark Shadow threw him, and then he grabbed the band. Then he just opened up knocked God dang it, the guy with mental arms, guy with multiple arms, guy who can duplicate arms, limbs. Yeah, that guy. Oh, knocks him in the face, then grabs Mineta and chucks him out, and then flies towards him, taking the headband off, then kicking him back to Ojiro? Is it Ojiro? Because I remember Ojiro being the freaking tail guy, but is it like, is it, was it? I can't remember. I literally can't. I'm sorry. This time I can't remember his name. Satoru? Ah, fuck yeah, I got it. Satoru gets his shit wrong, too. Then Mineta throws. Then Deku gets it, throws Mineta back to Sato? Sajiro? Sajiro. I'm getting Sajiro. Yeah. And then Deku flies back and then lands back on his team. With his 10 million points now on his waist. Like the big brain everyone did not decide to use. Like, just put it on your waist. And then the timer runs out with Todoroki and Bakugo trying to get that 10 million headband. Doesn't work. So Mineta Sato. No. Seijiro, see you, Mineta lose. Sucks for them, I guess. Okay, now Deku just gets off everyone and then shakes all their hands and then just gives yeah, oh my god. Yeah, Yasumi? Yandere? Oh my fucking god, I forgot her name again. Yandere? Yasure? Yadere? Yeah, I know it starts with a Y now. You and I? Oh my fucking god, I should just commit every type of sin if I'm just doing this kind of fucking shit. I'm sorry. The pink-haired girl, a hug, because she helped him take up the strategy of using his rockets to get to Mineta. And then we see a side-eye from Ochako. What you thinking, girl? What you thinking? But anyways, yeah, Yanjiro. Yanjirobe. Wait, why did I think that? Yigadai. You know, I hate when I try to remember her name and it just doesn't come out, you know? Don't you hate that? And, like, I hate it the most, obviously. Yagure? Hagakure, yeah, there we go. Hagakure. I can't believe I forgot her fucking name again. Hagakure then says, good luck. And Deku also says, good luck. Well, you too, Hagakure. And then, well, Shinso versus Deku happens. Deku doesn't speak a word, knocks flying straight for Shiro. Shinso, before I could even utter a word, gets punched in the gut and then not out of the ring. Everyone, like, didn't even know what the fuck just happened. Deku did so fast. They're like, boo, too short, too short, too short. He's like, are these bitches serious? I legit took care of it like a lightning bolt. Well, now Deku just, what does Deku do? He eats your mom. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. But Deku then just goes to, where does he go to? Well, then he just walks out of the ring with no problem being best, not the best candidate to win the arena, because then a lot of people want him to win now. And I mean, a lot of motherfuckers. And then Deku just goes to... Okay, who took... And then Deku like says, who took my sword? Until Hagakure shows up into the area, giving him a new and improved sword. This sword is more sleek and is way cooler, actually. It's like, it has like these cool slides in it. For some reason there's a hole in it. And Deku asks why is there a hole in my sword? And then she says, aerodynamic. It's aerodynamic. You know, I'll take it. And Deku is... No. What is he doing now? I think Deku would be... eating him. Okay. But Deku is now waiting for his next battle. And then, yeah, Sero gets fucking bodied. And Deku, instead of just being shocked, he actually cuts through the ice, grabbing it and chugging out of the ring. And don't mind you, that is a massive feat. My motherfucker just holded a glacier with no difficulty. And you gotta give him freaking credit for that. Oh my god, that's impressive. Yeah, definitely Deku is now. Do ignore that for like 2 seconds, please. Ignore all the noise, please. Ignore all this noise. This noise is irrelevant. Alright, now, back to the story, because I freaking was sidetracked. I'm sorry. And then Deku just throws the iceberg out of the ring. And then just freaking puts his sword to Todoroki's throat because this motherfucker almost killed half the fucking stadium. He was like inches off. He could have took a man's head off. Or woman's, or baby's. And that would have been the worst motherfucking crime. So of course, Deku then gets booed at, telling him to get off the stage, villain. And then people start calling him a villain because he tried to kill her. Even though that motherfucker almost killed him at... I'm not even kidding. Like, original Deku almost got his fucking head stabbed through. You gotta give Deku the credit he deserves about trying to protect his friends. And then Deku... Then they don't even leave the ring. Deku just... Then Deku tells him to clean himself off. Then Deku just melts off the ice from Sato, puts him on a bench, and then says, "We're fighting now. You're not leaving this ring." So now, guess who's getting his shit rocked? So, Todoroki just walks to the other end of the ring, and Deku's already at the end of the ring, so he just stands there, waiting for Todoroki to freaking do something. He's waiting for Shoto to do anything. So the battle... And then, after Todoroki is fully uniced by his fire, he then just freaking pops him with another iceberg. Instead of, it hitting, Deku just cut it straight in half, put a sword in front of him, and then just started cutting it in half. Then it got cut in half, and then he grabbed both the ice shards, threw them into the sky, and then just started fighting Todoroki. Those are going to come back later, by the way. And then Deku is fighting. Todoroki starts throwing ice attacks, but Deku is just slashing straight through him. And then Deku starts saying, "Are you going to use your fire quirk?" Like, he gets up and personal, like, "Are you going to use your fire quirk or not?" With his, if you're wondering, it is in his ear. And then Todoroki tries to throw more ice at him, but Deku just starts freaking. Then Deku just freaking pressure points his arm to the ice arm, and then knocks it clean out, and tells him, "Well, now you can't use your ice attack." And then he just freaking throws Todoroki against the floor, so it's then he starts chipping through the arena until he stops almost out of the ring. Almost out of the ring, by the way. And then Todoroki finally gives in and says, "Fine." And then Deku closes it, then opens his fist, and then Todoroki's ice powers come back. And, that kind of surprises, obviously that surprises Todoroki, but he takes it, melting all the ice frost off him, and then just hits Deku with an even bigger ice cube. But here comes the icebergs. Deku jumps on him, does a wall climb on one, jumps to the next one, then uses that one as a slide. Then he jumps behind that iceberg and then starts rocketing towards Todoroki. But Todoroki finally shoots his OP fire blast, but Deku just eats straight through that crap, and then then he yells with fury, "Now that's what I'm talking about!" And then he punches Todoroki so hard that the place just explodes. That was a lot of contributal force. That was a lot of contributal force. So it made an explosion. Then Deku is seen in the ring, and Todoroki is seen bashed into a freaking rock. And Deku then says, "Good." Good. And then Deku goes to the stadium. And everyone just keeps screeching, "Villain, villain, 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 villain." Which Deku is unfazed by. And Aizawa then shuts them the fuck up. And he just keeps saying that, give me... I would like all the heroes in the stadium to give me their badges, because clearly that you don't deserve that status. And if you don't stop, then I'll forcefully walk up in there and knock all of you out and take it. Now shut up." And then they all shut up because they're little bitches. Aizawa is the real freaking G there. You don't top Aizawa in that stadium. Except if you're Endeavor, because he's still very physically tough and has very good martial arts. Just because he doesn't have his fire quirk doesn't mean he's like bodybuilder size and ripped that ripped. So after that, of course, I have to explain how freaking strong Endeavor is. I'm so sorry. And then Deku just... Alright, so Deku then just sits there and waits. He actually goes into Todoroki's area and sits down and then immediately talks to him, telling him, "I'm just glad. I'm I'm just glad that I was able to help you with your quirk. And I hope to see you using your quirk more in its more, you know, in its full state. And whoever told you that your quirk is your father's, they don't deserve the right to talk to you then. And then Todoroki saying, your logic is a bit off, but okay. And then Todoroki says, you better win this. And then, not, and he explains, not because, not because I feel great about you winning. It's because I'd get pissed off if the guy that beat me didn't win. And then Deku says, I got you. And then he goes, then Deku goes into the ring with Bakugo. Bakugo feeling that he can finally get his chance to show off. If you're wondering why Bakugo doesn't see who Deku was, I'll explain. So Deku is looking towards... Deku didn't meet Bakugo before he, was declared dead. So Bakugo doesn't know who Izuku is. And then Deku just, let's just say, well, the battle begins. Bakugo throws an absolutely gargantuan size explosion, exploding half the fucking area. Luckily, not hurting anyone. But Deku just brushes it off, hits him with his a booster kick. Then Deku dodges it. Well, Bakugo dodges it. Then Bakugo starts spinning around, and then Bakugo hits him with his tank move, where he just spins around, and then hits him with his massive explosion to Deku's chest. And then the explosion happens, but Bakugo gets freaking pressure pointed in the gut, which then makes Bakugo vomit. And then he vomits all over Deku's arm and chest and face. Deku, unfazed, then freaking, then he cocks a fist back, fucking clocking Bakugo. Then he takes his blade out again. Then he, turns off the power and then starts just beating Bakugo with his blade. Puts it away. Well, and then he just, after one more pop, he puts it away, picking him up, throwing him in the air, then pulling out a cannon, then just starts freaking shooting balls. They usually have blast air ammo in it, but he loaded them up with balls, like tennis balls, Then just shoots him multiple times in the face. Then Bakugo is still, a bit clunked out because, he vomited a lot. And then Deku just, Deku just powers up one of his fists with a rocket punch. Rocket punch! And then that's what Deku screams. And then Baku gets freaking punched straight in the face. Knocked out of the area. Deku's still having vomit on his body and face. And then Deku wins. And then Deku goes to the stadium, cleans off, and then walks out to the arena. And by the way, he wasn't wearing the suit at all. And for some reason, no one bats an eye. No one bat an eye. Bouted an eye. Okay, back to what I was saying. Deku, what does Deku do? Oh man, Deku then just accepts his medal from All Might. Then instead of All Might hugging him, Deku immediately puts his chest on All Might, telling him, "Handshake's good." Bakugo, All Might accepting the handshake. Bakugo is chained up, furious he lost. Especially how Deku, in Bakugo's way, won like a bitch by making me vomit. Even though Bakugo was fully intending of making Deku bleed. And then Deku gets the W. Then he goes home. He starts walking to Hagakure's. Hagakure then catches up with him, telling him, "Wait up!" And then they walk. To Hagakure's until they come up to an alley and seeing a man getting stabbed rapidly in the gut. And then Deku walks over to him, taking the knife out, stopping the knife from doing another knife stab, until it showed that it's Toga. Then Toga tries cutting at Deku, but of course, metal versus metal, especially janked metal, gets Toga's knife shatters, and then Deku uh, chops her on the neck, but it doesn't knock her out this time, because determination. And then Deku kicks away. Then Toga kicks away Deku, but Deku is in chase until she freaking rock climbs up a building, but Deku just side jumps up there and starts chasing Toga, but Toga keeps jumping over buildings until she jumps down a building, and then Deku looks and then can't find her. Then he jumps down himself, breaking the concrete. Then he tries to open this. Then he opens up a trash can next to it, but she's actually not there. Then he tears up the trash can just in case she's hiding behind a trash bag, but she's not. She's not in the trash can. She's long gone. Then Toga looks behind a window. She's inside the building, by the way, looking towards Deku, and then Deku takes off his mask, thinking maybe his mask is maybe blinding him a bit. And then Toga looks into those gold green eyes and thinks how pretty he looks. So she's gonna stab the shit out of him, but not now. Later. Deku puts the mask on and then just walks back to Hagakure. Then pulls out his phone, walking out of the alley, telling Hagakure to just walk back to the area. I'll be there in soon. And then Hagakure says, no problem. And then Hagakure goes home, and Deku gets there later. And then Deku actually upgrades his house. He upgrades his little room. And Hagakure then says, "Do you want to sleep in my bed tonight?" With clear indications with this girl. And Deku just says, "Okay." Then they sleep in the same bed, but very, very uncomfortable. For Hagakure, Deku, he's fine. He just is very comfy. Because it's way more squishy bed than what he has. And he takes a relaxing nap. Then Deku sets up a dream sequence, but it's actually him in his mindscape. And then he boots up his an avatar. It's him, of course, but in his human form, it's just Deku. And then he walks over to the internet and then starts practicing a move on how to defend against knife users. Since Deku doesn't really know how to defend against people with knives. And then he figures out how to deflect the knife, and boom. Until he looks down at the comments and sees Ochako down there. And then he smiles that she says, "I'm just glad my friend told me I can't believe my friend is the whole reason I'm watching this at this time. And then Deku stays, then smiles, and then that's where I'm gonna leave things for right now. I hope you liked the video. Like, subscribe, hit the post notification bell. Liking helps with the algorithm, subscribing makes me motivated to make more videos, and hitting the post notification bell notifies you every single time I post a video. Well, I will see you soon.